Welcome back to Mac Talks Football, and AS Roma are in all sorts of trouble. They have sacked Ivan Juric, their manager, on Sunday after defeat against Bologna. The game ended at 3-2 and he was sacked just 30 minutes after the game. But the problems of Roma just don't start with the sacking of Juric. It could go back directly to last season when basically Jose Mourinho was sacked. Like, for me, the problem started there. The Federici family, the owners of AS Roma, they are like most of the club owners these days. They are not football people, they are professional businessmen. So they have invested a lot of money in AS Roma, and the results under Mourinho were not that they would have expected. There was a lot of financial problems under Mourinho. He brought in a lot of veteran players, and the demand of the money, the high wages, it was too much. The spending was a lot. They were, they breached FIFA's FFP as well, so they were sanctioned with that as well. So a lot of things led up to Jose Mourinho getting the sack in early January. On the pitch, I think he did okay. He did not manage to finish in the top four, which was the goal when he was brought in. He won the UEFA Conference League. He took them to a UEFA Europa final as well, which he lost. But he was not able to get them into a Champions League. They finished outside of the top five for the 2 years in a row. And when he was sacked, Roma were ninth in the league, 5 points of the top four. And basically, even if he would have finished in top five, they would have got in the Champions League. But they sacked him. They then replaced him with Daniel De Rossi, a legend of Roma. Everybody would have loved him, and he did a lot better under the circumstances. He was considered as a interim manager. Nobody really thought that he was going to be given the job, but he did a lot better as than a lot of as expected. Like, he basically exceeded expectations, and he of course had the love of the fans. At the end of the season was not that good, but by that time I think the owners had already made the decision. He was, as I said, loved by the fans. He was the perfect choice. But then comes in the CEO at that moment, Alina Soluku. She did not want him. I think she had some problems with Roma, with De Rossi, and she did not want to extend his contract. It was delayed for quite a long time, and she was not on the favor that De Rossi's contract should be extended. But because he had done a lot better than a lot of people expected, and it, of course, it's Daniel De Rossi. Anybody who knows football won't know what De Rossi means. Probably the biggest legend that AS Roma have produced. So everybody, all the fans were behind him. And to be fair to De Rossi, I think he did a very good job from where what he got, that escort that he had. He produced good results. And finally, before the end of the season, it is announced that his contract has been extended, and he's going to be a Roma manager until 2027. So everything is good. We go into the summer, and the European football happens, and then the summer transfer happens, and then again there is some confrontation between the CEO and De Rossi. Lina does not want to give out the money and does not want to buy the players that De Rossi wants. Then they want to sell players like Diabla until the last day of the season. There were rumors that he might end up going to Saudi Arabia, which is a big hit for De Rossi, especially if you are getting Diabla out on the last day of the season. There is not going to be time for him to get the players, to get the replacement, and the players that he wanted as well. Like, it took them a lot of time to get those deals over the lines, but eventually they did. I personally thought that Roma had one of the best transfer windows in Italy. They brought in the players that De Rossi wanted. He brought in the players that he wanted to play. He played a 4-3-3. He wanted to play that more attacking football. One touch passing. So his football style was completely different to Jose Mourinho. So basically, they tried to overhaul the squad. They brought in players that helped De Rossi. And the season starts, and the season does not start as the people would have expected, as the expectations were. They were winless in their first 4 games, and then there is another confrontation between De Rossi and Lina Solo, and I think that was the biggest mistake in my opinion. They sacked De Rossi at the early September, and the fans lost it. Like that, the fans were in a way backing the club until this time. A lot of fans were furious when Mourinho was sacked, but De Rossi coming in a lot. So the fans, in a way, subdued because it is De Rossi. Of course, you want to support De Rossi, but the way that he was sacked when the fans were promised that he would be given time, and of course, even if it is not De Rossi, doesn't matter who the manager is. You cannot just sack somebody after 4 months when they have, the squad and the team and the transfer business has gone for them. They are the ones who have decided what they want to do. All the money that you have spent has been to bring in players that the manager want to play, the players that would have suited his style. They replace him with a guy who is completely different to De Rossi. Ivan Juric. He prefers to play like this three at the back, 3-5-2, like that sort of formation. He doesn't want to play the way De Rossi wants. So you have spent a lot of a good amount of money to bring in players to play at a certain way for a certain manager, and then within a month you have sacked that guy and you brought in a manager whose playing style is completely different. And unfortunately for Juric, like he had no other option. Like he was not going to be loved, and that was evident from the first game itself, where a lot of the fans boycotted the first game. His first game of the season for almost 30 minutes. They did not show up as a form of a protest. And of course, Alina Soluku, who did not get along with De Rossi, had to lose her job as well. Like somebody had to take the fall, and it was her. She quits as the CEO 2 days after De Rossi is fired from his job. So I don't know what she was thinking, what the strategy there was, but her job goes as well. So now you have a new CEO as interim CEO. Till now they have not replaced him, the new guy, and now they brought in Ivan Juric. His term started very good. They won against Udinese in their first game. They drew against Athletic Club. They won their third game, and then the fallout started again. There's this new manager bounce happened for a couple of games, but the fact of the matter is you have brought in players to play a certain style of football, and when that starts to change, when the manager tries to bring in his own tactics and wants to implement his own formation, you need to have players who can adapt to it, you can adjust to it. And I really feel bad for Ivan Juric because he really wasn't given that much time. But since basically from October to November, there has been just one win for Roma. Apart from that, there have been losses and draws. They got thrashed by Fiorentina as well. They're not able to win in the Europa League. They lost to Bologna 3-2. It was not a really good performance, and a double by Steven Sharawi, but it didn't really matter because the game was already done and dusted, and that was it for Ivan Juric. So it is a catastrophic environment at the moment, and as I said, I feel really bad for Juric, but he did not have any chance. The fans really were not on his side because of the way that De Rossi was sacked and the way that he was treated. Of course, he's a hero for them, and the way that the management treated De Rossi, so any guy who would have come in place, so he would have had a hard time. But they should have given him a lot more time. They should have given a lot more time to De Rossi, and of course they should have given a lot more time to Juric. You cannot expect a guy to overhaul and change the fortunes of the club in just a month and a half. So another stupid decision by the owners. I'll be very honest with you. The family, like, they are now even trying to buy Everton. So I don't know what their thinking is right now. They have now they went to London. They have tried to contact Eric Ten Hag. They have tried to contact Graham Potter, Claudio Ranieri, Vincenzo Montella. So there are other options that they are now looking for a new manager. So this is the problem for with sacking managers mid-season and sacking 2-3 managers, because a lot of new guys are gonna come in and they are gonna have their new philosophy. But you have players who were brought in by another guy to play a certain formation, so it is not gonna really work. So if you really look at the guys that they are going, I think the only person that would make sense to play a certain style with these players would be Graham Potter. I think that would be the best option for Roma. But with the situation that they are in, which manager would want to go in? Like, you sack De Rossi after just 4 months, you sack Juric after just 4 games, sorry, De Rossi, and then you sack Juric after just 2 months. You don't give him enough time. Juric, unfortunately for him, he did not even have, like, these were not his players. He was not even given even enough time to go to the transfer window and buy some players. No, he was sacked just after 2 months. So I just don't understand which manager would want to go into a club like this, where he doesn't really have any power. He can be let go of the job at any moment without giving any explanation as well. Roma at the moment, they sit at 12th in the league. The Federici family, they said they want to get back into the Champions League, and but the way that the club is running, like you have the league is so tight at the top, between first to seventh or eighth position, like it is very tight, but Roma are nowhere near it. You have all the other big teams trying to get fight for the title or get into those Champions League places or even the European places, but Roma are nowhere near it. Like they are more close to relegation than to the those Champions League places. So it is not really looking good for Roma in any way, shape, or form. So it is for the fans, like times like this you really feel for fans who have to bear the brunt of all the stupid decisions are made by the management. Or whichever manager is going to come in now, he's going to try to implement his own strategy. That's going to take the time. So of course that means there is going to be another let's say for example, I don't really know which manager whoever comes in is going to take time. So that means a lot of games where they are going to drop points again, because the new manager is taking time. So the question begs again, that will they sack him as well? So I really did not understand the sacking of Jurek, because it didn't make any sense. You are gonna bring in a new guy, and if he doesn't work, are you gonna sack him as well? That at the end of the day, it again comes to this main discussion, that people who don't know anything about football, they come in and they try to buy these football clubs, and in the end basically they ruin them. And at the moment Roma are in complete shambles. The fans are really angry with it. They have been angry since De Rossi was sacked, and I think Jurek sort of became a scapegoat. They really did not want to bring in someone like him. That's my opinion. I think that they were not themselves not pleased, because but they really did not have any other option at that time. So they just had to go and bring in someone, and Jurek had to pay the price for it. I think he got a good amount of money out of it, but I don't think that's really matters to him. So it is at the moment not looking really good for Roma. We're gonna see how this situation pans out, because they want to get in the new guy before the international break is over. So they are trying to get all these managers. The funny thing is, they are trying to bring in the managers. They are trying to get, like, everybody has a different philosophy. So that doesn't really suits well. That's what I really don't understand. That if you want to play a certain way, you should go to the managers who play the football, like basically like their playing style is same, but the way the managers that they are going to, like, all of them have different sort of strategies, and they like to play different type of football. So that just shows you what their mindset is. They don't really have a direction to go to. They're just throwing at the moment things at the wall, and they're hoping that something sticks at the moment. So let's hope for the sake of the Roma fans, that whoever comes in, whether it's Montero, whether it's Ranieri, whether it's Ten Hag, whether it's Porter, whoever comes in, they can help the club, at least have a good end to the season, because at the moment it's a complete shambles. And the players themselves, they are going to be confused as well. They went into the season thinking we are going to play for De Rossi playing a certain way, then he gets sacked, and then they bring in Jurek, and then they were told that they are going to play this way, and now he's gone. Now they are themselves going to be thinking who is going to be this new guy, and everything is going to change for them as well. New environment, new sets of training. So it is not the club is not in a good state. I think the owners are to blame. I think the CEO Linus Luko, who was, of course, he had to resign, he's to blame, and the interim CEO at the moment, he is to blame as well. Let's hope for the best for Roma, because at the moment it is not looking really good. Of course, we will keep on talking about the story as the story progresses. So yeah, that's it from me in this video. Let me know what you guys think of the entire situation. Who do you think is to blame? For me, I always go to the owners. Like, people can blame whoever they want. For me, I think it's the owner's fault. But let me know what you guys think of the situation. Do you think De Rossi deserve to be sacked? Do you think Jurek deserve to be sacked? Let me know in your opinions in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 450 subscribers by the end of November, so please go ahead and help the channel grow, as we try to put out content for you. Until next time, bye bye.